Hi, kindergarten. Happy Wednesday. This week we are focusing on animals that live in Antarctica. So, this whole time we've been talking about the seven continents. Remember, they are Asia, Africa, Europe, Australia, North America, South America, and Antarctica. So, we read a nonfiction text a few weeks ago about Antarctica. If you want to catch up on it, you can click on the link below. But we will continue to learn about some animals because our big focusing question is what makes the world fascinating. And all of these unique, cool animals are definitely interesting and make the world fascinating. So let's go ahead and learn right now about penguins. All right. What birds cannot fly? What birds spend most of their lives in the ocean but are not fish? What birds live in the coldest part of the world all year long? They swim, they march, they slide through the snow. They are penguins. So these are emperor penguins. There are lots of different kinds of penguins. That particular kind is called an emperor penguin. All penguins live between the equator and the South Pole. Some live where it's very cold. Some live in warmer places like the coast of Africa or Australia. Penguins live on islands, on coasts, and even on icebergs in the sea. They just need to be near water because they spend most of their lives in the water. So here is a big map of all the continents. This line right here is called the equator. And so they need to live on that southern hemisphere. So you can see that some kinds of penguins live in South America, some in Australia, some in Africa, but a lot live here in Antarctica. Not just any bird. So, again, this is called a header. It's at the top of our page and it tells us what we're going to learn about on this page. Penguins are perfect for their lives at sea. They have a sleek shape for speed. A layer of blubber keeps them warm. So, here's this emperor penguin. We see stiff flippers to act like boat paddles to push and steer. They have big eyes to see underwater. They have layers of soft feathers that trap the heat, and then stiff, oily feathers on top to keep the water out, and big webbed feet for better steering. And then here are the big words. Webbed means that they're connected by skin. So, like if you open your hand, it's not connected with anything, right? But if it were webbed, that would mean that there is skin in between, like a duck has webbed feet, penguins do as well to help them swim. Their black backs make them hard to see from above. Their light bellies make them hard to see from below. But it's their strong, solid flippers that help them escape predators and get where they want to go. Penguins can swim about 15 miles an hour. When they want to go faster, they leap out of the water as they swim. It's called porpoising because it's what porpoises do. Remember, a predator is an animal that eats other animals. So these are called gentoo penguins. So that's another species, another kind of penguin. What's for dinner? Life in the ocean is fishalicious. Penguins eat a lot of fish. They have a hooked bill or beak to help them grab their dinner. Barbs on their tongues and in their throats help them to hold on to slippery food. Would you like a drink of salty water to go with that fish? Penguins are able to clean the salt out of ocean water. They get fresh water to drink, and the salt dribbles back into the ocean. So, bird words here on the bottom. A barb is something sharp and pointy like a hook. Interesting. So, this is a Humboldt penguin. While penguins are slurping down their dinners, they have to be careful not to end up as dinner themselves. Penguins are the favorite food of marine animals such as leopard seals and killer whales. Penguins are also in danger on land. Birds like the squaw, the Australian sea eagle, and the giant petrel eat penguins. Even cats, snakes, foxes, and rats eat penguins when they can. So, They have to be really careful in the water and out of the water. There's a lot of predators. Life on land. On land, most penguins live in a large colony with thousands or even millions of other penguins. If it's cold, they huddle together. It's so warm inside a huddle that penguins take turns moving to the outside to cool off. Penguins march together to get their nesting grounds. Once there, they wave, strut, shake, call, nod, dance, and sing to find a mate. Most penguins stay with their mate for many years. So when it's super cold, they all get into a big huddle and then they take turns being on the inside of the huddle because whoever's on the inside gets to be the warmest. So then they take turns, and then once the inside penguins are really warm, they go back to the outside, and then the outside penguins can move in, and they keep going, and they really use teamwork to work together to stay warm. A chick is born. Most penguins lay 2 eggs at a time, but often only one egg survives. The mother and father take turns keeping the egg warm. When it hatches, the parents keep the chick warm and fed. After a couple of weeks, hundreds or even thousands of chicks wait together while the parents go back to the sea to find food. As the chicks wait, they're in constant danger from squaws, eagles, and other animals. So these are chin strap chicks. So chin strap penguins have that like black chin strap across. So they're very recognizable. They don't have it though. It looks like as babies. And these are Adelie chicks. So they look very different. All right. Finally, the parents return with food. They have to find their chicks in a huge crowd of baby birds. How do they do it? The baby birds sing special songs to help their parents find them. In a few months, the whole family returns to the sea. So this is a king chick. This is a Gen 2 feeding chick. So this bird is feeding her baby bird. The longest march. For the emperor penguins, that's the kind of penguin we see on this page, getting to their nesting grounds is hard work. Their home is Antarctica, the coldest place on Earth. Emperor penguins nest much farther from the ocean than other penguins. They must march for days and nights through snow and wind. After laying her eggs, the female gives it to the male. He will keep it warm in a flap under his belly. Unlike other penguins, the male emperor cares for the egg by himself, while the female goes back to the ocean to find food. So all the male penguins, all the dads, they sit on top of the egg and keep it really, really warm, and the mom goes to the ocean to find all the food. The mother is gone for more than 4 months. The father huddles with the other male penguins to keep himself and his egg safe and warm. During this time, the father eats nothing but snow. When the mother returns in July, the father quickly goes to the ocean to find food. By December, the whole family is ready to go. So now here the baby chick is hatched. Penguin parade. There are 17 different species or kinds of penguins. So here's the smallest one. This is called the fairy penguin. Fairy penguins sing more songs than any other penguins. Then we've got the Galapagos ones. They live on the Galapagos Islands in South America. Snares, the rockhopper, yellow-eyed, Fiordland, erect-crested, African, and Magellanic. Yeah. These penguins are the loudest. They sound like donkeys. This one here. Interesting. All right, then we've got the royal penguin, the macaroni penguin. I always think it's probably called a macaroni penguin because it looks like there's 2 macaroni noodles on top of his head. The Adelie penguin, Humboldt, chin strap. See that black chin strap that kind of looks like he's wearing a hat or a helmet? The Gen 2, the king, and then the largest is the emperor penguin. So the Gen 2, these penguins are the fastest swimmers, and the king, these penguins don't make a nest. They carry their eggs wherever they go. Penguin play. Ooh, I'm going to attach some videos below of penguins playing and swimming and jumping out of water because it's really fun to watch. Hopping. Rock hoppers can hop 5 feet high, so that's almost as tall as Miss Arnold. Life isn't always easy for penguins, but at least they look like they're having fun. Macaroni penguin, sledding. Penguins speed down icy hills on their feet and bellies to get somewhere fast. Surfing. Penguins surf through the waves. Sometimes they surf right from the water up onto the land. So this is the king penguin. Singing. Adults sing to their mates and chicks sing for their parents. So here's the chin strap penguin again. You can really see the chin strap on him there. All right, and then here's our glossary at the back of our book, teaching us these new words. Remember, a barb is something sharp and pointy like a hook. The coast is where land meets water. So like where we would go to the beach, that must be on a coast if you're going to the ocean. Colony is a group of animals who live together. The equator is an imaginary line halfway between the North and South poles. Marine mammals have fur and give birth to live young. Unlike other mammals, they spend most of their time in the ocean, and webbed, connected by skin. All right, thank you for joining me and learning.